22 major persuader here. The team YCS. I love
You already know Vegas. Let's go, Vegas, baby.
You already know. We're with top 8 team
Parvenu.
Hi Pat, and we got Gavin.
The one and only.
The one and only.
Number one in Yugioh.
Number one.
First time on our channel. David Flores, you already know.
Another UDS champion.
2-round 5. And we got first time on my
smartest
channel.
player.
And Gary. No, very smart player. Mr. Johnny B. He's nice. He's the same name. So I always turn around and see his name.
Yes, same. Every time.
Wait, my Johnny? Huh? This Johnny. We're both Johnny. So we're gonna start with Mr. Galley. What did you play today?
I played Dino.
Like Dino. Wow. Okay.
Haven't been playing. Easy to play.
I think the ratio is pretty good.
Straightforward like that.
Right, super easy. 3 of each, 4 babies, then 1 off.
Supporting dragons.
This is really good because you draw and it's a fire. That's the best thing that does. 2 Tyranno and then 4 of these.
How many times did you hit though, guys, with people?
Once.
Once?
Yeah. So
But was it good?
it felt good.
Yeah.
Right. So 3 of these.
Same as safer. And
2 of these. What was the name of the guy that told me to play these?
6 entry in the main. We'll talk about
I was playing Mind Control and then they
He also topped. The guy who said to play that.
Yeah, so this was really bad. But yeah. It does nothing to Dwellers, so.
Tesla itself is
one of these. And 3. So pretty standard, it's very similar to the guy who got top 4 at the...
Scott Page?
Yeah, Scott.
Oh, what if we play Chalice instead?
Side deck, 3 Nibiru, good against Salad, but against everything else I think it didn't go so well. 3 Cosmic. This, I set it in twice, and I do this twice, and all this.
So Scythe was your friend?
Scythe is my best friend. 2 summon limits. This is because of Spiral. They're going first with anti-spell. So I thought, right, I'm going to go first and slow them down. And then the extra deck, nothing too special.
That boy nice right there, baby.
Oh yeah.
3 of these.
It could be breaking, so I don't play 3.
Obviously that play.
I did break
1 round, I got rid of 3 of these with 1 pot, and the other pot got 3 of these.
Oh my goodness, that's a 4% chance.
How does that happen? That 4% happen?
And then just some red force.
What about missing mine?
I should have probably played Dweller.
That's okay. Party would have got banished too. I'm like, yeah. If that's how that
No, it was good. 1x1, I lost to Max, and then lost in top 8.
We did good. All right, first time Galley's on our channels. Let's go. That's a rare moment, Galley. Thank you, Galley. Let's go to Mr. David Flores, our UDS champion. How's it going, man? What did you play today?
I played a Spiral. Combo.
All right, let's jump into
this part.
3 Magician Souls. 2 Jackalopes.
I play the
2 Tsuchinokos, 1 Nessie, 1 Jet, 3 Spirit Recycler, Golem, pretty really good combo. Quick Mix, Last Resort, Drone, Sleeper, 2 Super Agents, and 2 Master Monsters. Spells is Reborn, Foolish, 1 for 1, Big Red, Assault, Absorb, 3 call by the grave.
I like the regular combo pop on link 3, so I can just spell up to 3 different rocket
and for the traps, played anti-spell fragrance.
This one has a greater fight that has a
Shout outs to Ed for the deck as well. He really helped me out a lot. Johnny's idea as well.
how many free wins did you get off that anti-spell in the main deck?
A couple
free wins?
The Griffin combo.
Yeah, and how did you like the scrap version, like, and scrap danger version over like a different version?
This is one of the best
Well, the deck breaks enough already, and I felt it was right that like the monsters actually changed how you should play the game like with this deck. Like the monsters are one of the standalone cards and the two combos by itself. So that was really nice about the deck. And it's also the reason you can do like the anti-spell fragrance combos.
Yeah.
So it makes it a lot easier.
I think you can make Curious easier with the dangers too, so that makes your combo super easy.
Side deck, Link Revo, Barricade, Nightmare, Cerberus, Scrap Wyvern, Helix, Unicorn, Trigate, Kyrian, Sword, Palooza, Griffin, and Savage, and Princess. Savage was to protect Savage was to protect this from being negated, to bring this back, to bring the anti-spell from being set, and it was also to protect anti-spell from being outed.
Wait, how do you make more on Savage?
With the Jet Synchron and
I forgot about Jets. I was like, wait, what's the tuner? I forgot. I was like, what's going on? That's nice. That's nice.
3 draw, 3 dark ruler, 2 twin, 2 Nibiru, 2 storm, and 3 match.
Everyone's
All basically
full
going the
time.
same cards.
Like my
Back
combo's
rotate.
taking fast, but
you have
everyone's
changed
taking my card.
Yeah, what do you think you
For
changed?
my first, I said in both these because they like to play dark ruler no more.
I actually want
So
to
like if they break your board, you have to break your
old
board
and
at the same
after
time.
like multiple times.
So I did that a lot.
There's like one
It actually
round,
worked out.
top 16, I got the
I had it up too many times
my
going
teammates
first.
won in time because
Probably changes. I never saw this all
this
weekend.
totally changed.
Yeah, you never saw your roll. That's good.
Yeah.
But you wanted to.
Yeah, I'm sure
I
you
wanted
did.
to. Yeah, I wanted to. This, I do need it for a window, but I did break too many. This you need it for track decks because it's
I can
spiral.
summon Broto.
You want to make things easier. I never cited this in except for like my round 1. I never saw it. This was amazing. Nibiru was really good too. But, I mean, yeah, that's a deck. I really liked it a lot.
Don't quite remember.
Sponsors.
Yeah, shout out to my sponsors, Frozen Card Gaming, who are also supported by Card
This is
Market,
mainly
JK Entertainment, and I don't know the last
Like I don't
That's
think
what you gotta show it on the back. Ultimate Guard and JK Entertainment. Yeah. Champ in the building. That's your
shout outs to my family, my wife and kid obviously, Johnny already knows. They support me a lot, they actually let me play this game a lot.
And that's why
I love them with all my heart, they're everything to me.
I do really want to
best support too, man. Your family support. That's
obviously
all right. And then the last player.
I promise it won't be a 2-hour thing this time.
It's okay. That's the first time.
Yeah, so I'll go very quickly with the deck and then share about what I learned this weekend. The deck is very standard. It's almost exactly Shenping's deck. Basically what happened was I showed up late on Sunday to the UDS because I did in day 2. And I just bumped into Shenping right after he won his belt. And I was like, Shun, why do you think you won this event? I asked him that question. And he said, my deck has a 95% consistency rate, 1-card combos. That's all he said. And when he said that, I thought that sounds like a tournament-winning deck, and so that's what convinced me to pick up the cards for this deck, master it over the course of a week. Just very strenuous. It's like craving for an exam. But when he said that to me, like that screamed to me best deck. And so it's a very balanced format. I don't think it's the best deck by a huge margin, but I think it was a very great choice, and so that's why I went with this deck. I won't go into details about card choices because again, same stuff. So as far as starters, we have 12, I believe. Yeah, 12. So I usually want 11 to 14 starters, so 12 is good. As far as superior extenders, we have these 2, 4, 6, 7. And kind of like with Burning Abyss, I like when decks, when their superior extenders also work like starters. So these cards work like starters, kind of like how Farfa is an extender, but it's also a starter if you don't have Graph or Seer. And so to me, that's usually the sign that a deck has the potential to be the best deck, when their cards can be in multiple roles. So extenders can be starters can be extenders. Like Dino is another deck that I think really fulfills those requirements. So that was a huge sign to me that this was a good deck to play. Additional extenders, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these 8 cards for additional extenders. And then true to the same point I just made about how cards should serve multiple roles, a lot of these additional extenders also serve as starters or superior extenders, and so I really like that about the deck. And then 2 reactive extenders. And then Pat always preached to have 6 to 7 defense, so there's exactly that, 6 defense. And
Patrick Hoban, right?
yeah, Patrick Hoban, yeah, founder of Parvenu. And these 6 work really great with the deck. So after the UDS 6 days ago, I was at the airport with Shun and Jesse, and they were playtesting for Vegas, and they were going very back and forth, Shadal versus this deck, Rocket. But what I noticed was that what put Shun's boards over the top was that he would have one of these to back it up. Or in post-sighting games, you would have like Fragrance or something. And they just work so beautifully together. Like this covers so much of what the board this deck makes doesn't cover. And I just saw that synergy while watching them play like 6 games, and it was so beautiful that I thought like, okay, this is a great call. Especially because you know that after the UDS, everyone's going to be on that Shadal deck. So that was my thinking. 3 removal cards is Mystic Mine, and of course, trap decks in general or struggle, and 2 bombs. What's a little bit different about Levianeer's role in this deck as opposed to in traditional Link spam decks is that you're actually not trying to rip cards out of their hand with the opening. You're saving this for your follow-up turn 2 play. And then as far as the extra deck, I've ordered it in the order of the summons that you typically do. So you would summon a striker first, and then Romulus sometimes, Seal, and then you would make LP. And then you would unintuitively make another rocket and use its pop effect. And then after that you would summon this, and then Pisty. Then after that, you would turn the Pisty into this, and then you would summon this with the red eyes, and then you would use this to pop that. And then finally, you would summon this, your 2 boss monsters, to make your end board. So you would use up all of these cards. Often not this one, but you would, for the most part, use 11 cards in your opening combo. And then you have these 4 cards as follow-ups. But of course, there are ways to recur these cards as well. You have the Recharger Rockets effect to recur them. So I like that this deck has lasting power. It's not a deck like, say, Mermails in a previous format, where you do your combo and if they break your board, it's over. I really love that this deck has 2 different soul charges that it can recur cards, and like that plus all the ratios I just explained like scream to me like play this deck. Like this is correct. Like no like really obvious weaknesses. And as far as the side deck, of course you have your board breakers. I never drew this, of course, because it's at 1 now, but in theory it's very good for facilitating OTKs, and then all of these were excellent to me. I mean, not change it. One difference from Shun's deck from last weekend at the UDS is that we went up to 3 copies of Dark Roller, just because the prevalence of Winda warrants that. And it came at the cost of playing 1 less Nibiru. But the thinking was, let's play 1 more Nibiru, at least 1 Nibiru, because it's searchable off Brotor after you get Nibiru. What I love about playing online is that because there's no time, I can take Scarlight out of my side deck and put a second Nibiru in my side, so I have a little bit more room when you play online. But yeah, the Scarlight's for time, and this put in excellent work for just 1 match, but 1 match is all you need for it to matter. So the last game really of day 1, it all hinged on my game 3 against a Sound Great player, and I was able to summon this in time, and so it's really great for that when it comes down to that. And then of course going first, this offers excellent complementary support to your board as well as to the hand traps that you're already playing, Ash and Droll and Lockbird. So that's just the deck really quickly. As far as shoutouts go, of course shoutouts to the team, honestly. I mean, going back to my point about how I learned a lot this weekend and I wanted to share that, is I learned that people all learn in such different ways, and it's so important to understand your teammates and how they are different from you. It's not like being in a marriage, like you have to understand each other's strengths and weaknesses, how you complement each other, and being able to work around what your teammates need. And like any relationship, there's ups and downs, you have disagreements, you have to figure out how to resolve them. And so I learned a lot from working with these guys about just how to be a better player, not just a better player in Yu-Gi-Oh, but also how to work with people better. And that I really cherish that. Like more than the top, I cherish just the lessons I learned about how to work with people. Life is all about working with people, no matter what you do for a living. Besides that, I think another thing I learned within the game of Yu-Gi-Oh was how to learn a lot in a really short amount of time. Because Shun had a combo deck, and it's combo decks can get really complicated in the Link era, and I only had like 5 days to practice. And so I think there were 2 things that really sped things up for me and let me successfully cram all this knowledge. One was Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro. I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro is really underrated because DB has a higher user base, but I love that Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro lets you play at double speed, and so that was really useful for me to get in more reps in a shorter amount of time. And then the other was just this exercise I do where I shuffle my 40-card deck and break it into 8 hands of 5. And all the hands that auto-combo, that I already memorized the combo for, I set them aside. But usually 1 out of 8 hands will be awkward, and I play the awkward hand over and over and over until I know exactly what I want to do with it. And so I think that exercise helped me a lot. And we did a little bit of it with Gali and with David as well, and I really enjoyed that exercise. I think you can learn a lot from doing that with the more mediocre / awkward hands. So those are my first shout-outs. And I also just want to shout out Ed. You're my rock. Love you, Ed. And I hope that we can team together in the near future. We really miss you. Ed, David, and I placed third at Peru at last BB3. I want to shout out to people who live with me, Zoe, to Julie. Thank you so much for taking care of our home. Every weekend that I'm traveling, you make it possible. So thank you for that. Let's see, no sponsors to speak of. Shout out to Pat for Parvenu, my co-founder. You inspired our team name. To the judge staff for being very wonderful. They, just did an excellent job this weekend, and actually, this is so important. I almost forgot. So shout outs to a couple friends, Ethan and Josh Overnick. They really came through when my cards didn't come in the mail in time for me to make this deck, but they really came through and were able to provide. So thank you so much for making it possible for me to even play. So I just want to say it was really great working with you guys. What makes the 3v3 so fun is that not just you get to play Yu-Gi-Oh, but you can play Yu-Gi-Oh next to your best friends and succeed together. That's just a feeling that you can't replace with this solo YCS. So I love doing it, and it's been great doing it.
And TCG Collectibles, friends, everyone. And I want to say that again because usually after the tournament I complain that some judge did something or something bad happened. And I thought this was like probably the best judge event I've played in a while. So everything. Yeah. So shout outs to TCG friends, family, I love you guys. And you guys, of course.
And you guys. You guys
are the best.
Great. All right. Thank you. Congratulations on the top cut.